Alright, this is obviously not the 4270. That project had to get pushed back 1 week due to the shop that I was hoping to use is not currently available, so I had to come up with a new game plan. And the new game plan involved pushing it back another week. So that's going to be this weekend's project. But in the meantime, well, last 2 days, what day is this? This is Wednesday. Yeah, Monday got me screwed up because we had it off for some reason. Not that I'm complaining, but whatever. So Monday, Tuesday, I was getting stuff around for the 270. Well, today I'm like, don't really want to start any big projects and don't really have anything else going on. So I figured, kind of a knee-jerk, screw it. We're going to start building doors for the chicken coop because that project needs to get done here at some point. Which I don't know if anybody's heard Michigan's stupid new law. Now all the eggs sold in Michigan have to be free-range eggs. So you just took your supply and you cut it, and then right after they announced that, there was a big recall on free-range eggs for like salmonella or something or other. So we just need to get this chicken coop done because things are kind of stupid. So basically what I got to do for right at the moment, all this 2x stuff is not important. What we need to worry about is these two 1x12s and that one 1x10. I need to cut those all to 6 foot, and cut them all to 6 foot, run a pass over this joiner, which hopefully the blades are still sharp. They should be. Granddad gave this to me. He bought it, used it twice, didn't like it, and then never used it again. So it doesn't really have any use on it. The table's just kind of, she could use a little polishing, but I don't have any Scotch-Brite pads here. I do have some steel wool, maybe I can hit with that. But anyway, cut those to 6 foot, run them over the joiner to get the edges squared up, and then I'm going to take everything in the basement of the house so that it's warm, and we're going to glue those all together side by side to make two 6 foot by, they're going to end up like 6 foot by 31 and some change depending on how much the joiner takes off, panels that we're going to cut our door blanks out of. And then I'm going to use this stuff for the strengthening / making it look pretty deal. So that's what tonight I want to get the things cut and get it glued up so that it can sit overnight, so that I can possibly finish them tomorrow, because I want to get everything put together so we start putting linseed oil on them, because I'd like to leave them natural since nothing else on the shed's painted. So I figure if I put linseed oil on it and leave it natural, that should, because linseed oil, A, is an anti-rot, and B, anti-pest. So let me get some stuff moved around here, because I gotta get the saw on the floor so that we can cut those things, and we'll get them cut and jointed and in the basement where we can not be cold. Don't mind my overabundance of workspace here. What I'm doing, I don't even know if I bother cutting them because they're going to end up about 4 inches long anyhow for the door height at a minimum. So we're just going to cut them. Alright, I was able to clean the table up on this thing a little bit. I'm not 100% sure why it got so rusty, because it was sitting in his shop. And his shop is heated and cooled and all that fancy jazz. But where he had it, it looks like it's taken not quite a 1/16 of an inch of a cut, which is probably good enough for what I want to do with it. I checked and made sure the fence is square to the table, and that way. So I guess we'll see what we can do here. This is only going to be my second time ever using a joiner. Hopefully I've got enough room here. Trying to channel my inner Norm Abram here. Except his wood shop was a lot nicer than mine. Apparently diffuse did not like that. Okay, I replaced that fuse, and then I plugged it into the one circuit I run the compressor off of, because that's got a heavier fuse in it, so maybe. Said to loosen that and take hold of. Okay, take two. Okay, everything's jointed, both sides, or whatever you call that, jointed, I don't know. I feel like that'd be easier on something that long with two people, but I don't know, I was also nervous about it, so. But the other thing I figured out also, probably this, Granddad had this set up for, he's got a central vac, like chip vac in his shop. I think I got it, if I'm going to run it without it, I think I got to take that guy off. But anyhow, I'm going to clean my mess up real quick, and we'll carry everything in the house, and we will meet you guys in the basement. Okay, and welcome to the basement of a 130-year-old farmhouse now. 133-year-old farmhouse, whatever. That's where Shelly does all her stuff, and some of the old Legos and what have you. Anyhow, it looks like as far as fitment like on the edges. It looks like the joiner did his job. Everything looks like it's going to be fairly decent. The problem we're going to run into now is, because this is shit modern lumber, it's got more waves in it than it knows what to do with. So, and I'm also clamp poor. This is everything I got, plus as far as clamping the panels together, I got Dad's 4 bar clamps. And in order to multiply my clamping capacity, hopefully this works out in reality like it worked out in my head. I cut all these pieces. Actually, most of them are already cut, but I got all these scraps of 2x4 and 2x6 to hopefully aid in this little endeavor. So, yeah. The fun part is going to be, well, let's just face it, the whole damn thing's going to be the fun part. So, and I guess, let me do some mixing and matching here, and maybe I'll find some that are kind of bowed similar to make this a little easier. Okay, so I'm flipping around, and because part of the problem was these things are, at Lowe's, these things are stored standing up, and they get a belly to them. Rather than if they stored them flat, it would make things 10 times easier. But with a little bit of flipping around and mixing and matching, this one actually lines up pretty damn good now, other than this little dip here on the end. And then this one, the 12-inch pieces actually line up pretty good. This guy has got a twist in it, so hopefully we can get all that pulled out. My plan is, and see how this works, is to sandwich 2 2x4s, one on either side with a clamp here in the middle to pull on both ends, to pull the ends together. And then, since I don't have enough clamps, 1 2x4 in the center with a clamp to help pull everything together, and then the bar clamps will be like splitting the difference. So hopefully it works. So this one's going to be the easiest one, so we're going to start with this one. I'll just glue this edge, and away we go. So stay. Leave them spaced apart just a little bit so that we don't get the glue. And then I'll clamp this side, use the bar clamps to pull them together, and then I'll clamp the center. I think that'll be the easiest way to do this without making a huge mess, I think. Maybe. I haven't watched enough New Yankee Workshop to be good at this. Nor do I have nearly enough good woodworking tools. These two are close enough. We're just going to bump them together. We'll just kind of bump these two together. Close enough on the ends. So we're going to come down here, and we're going to use one of these big ones. Same thing on the other side. Yes, go ahead and try to pull her together, hopefully, maybe. I need to push me. Actually, I think for rigidity, we're going to do it like that. I don't know how much of this you're actually seeing. Let's crack these guys loose real quick. Okay. Okay, well, I'm not necessarily a woodworker, so I don't know how normal it is to be able to get these things right dead nuts, but so don't judge me. But all in all, I dare say that's not too bad. Unfortunately, it's going to be a little hard to clean the glue up the way it sits, but with a little bit of sandpaper, I think we can do it after it. I'll get some, that stuff cleans up with water and a wet, like a wet paper towel, so I'll get what I can off. But I don't know, I'm no woodworker. I don't know how to judge the success of this, but really the only bad spot's right there. Which it doesn't need to be perfect neither. It's, like I say, it's the building it's going on is far from perfect in its own right, so it'd be nice if I knew somebody that had a panel, either a, what do they call them, a door sander, or a big enough plane once I get it glued up to run it through. Because I probably could have planed the individual pieces, but then I don't know, this is my first time ever trying to build panels, so alright, I'll try to get the other one done up this way. Okay, well, I think we're good for the night. This one, when I put this board across, it wanted to cup, like it wanted the cup, like roll the ends up and go down in the center. So to counteract that, I took the bar clamps, flipped them over to the bottom, and it did work. It kind of sucked the ends down and pushed the center back up. It's still not 100%, but it's a heck of a lot better than what it was. So I don't know, I'm not a woodworker. So I'm gonna go get some paper towel, clean my glue up, and as long as these things don't fly, I'll have plenty of time. Not quite 24 hours. I'll probably have about I'll have about 20 hours on them by tomorrow afternoon. So hopefully they don't fly apart when I go popping clamps off. We'll see. So we will catch you guys tomorrow. Hi, and welcome back to Discount New Yankee Workshop. I'm your host, Discount Norm Abram. We're gonna see if these things, I doubt if they do come apart. I doubt they I doubt it's at the glue seam. If they'd like twist or warp or something and split next to the glue seam, on the other hand, that's a different deal. But I think, provided these don't fall apart, I think I've got everything I need. I got a skill saw to rip my doors out of our blanks. A drywall square. I was hoping that was a 6-footer, but it's not. It's a 4-footer, so we'll have to work with that. Chop saw, pankin compressor, air hose, and Granddad's brad nailer. So, and dimensions from naturally they're a lot closer than I thought they'd be in size. One of them needs to be 28.5 by 67.25, and the other one needs to be 28 by 67.25. And the east door frame is actually fairly square. The west door frame is tapered just a wee bit. Like it's narrow at the bottom and wide at the top, but it's honestly a lot closer than I thought it'd be. So, with that being said, what do you say we pop some clamps and see if these things shatter into a bazillion pieces, or if the glue holds. If the glue holds good enough to get it cut out, then we're golden, because we can start putting the decorative reinforced slash functional reinforcement on. So far, so good. guess I can tilt it up a wee bit. Okay, one more and we find out if it's going to explode. Looky there. So this one is the one where there was a lot of arch in this board, starting from like right here down. So on this one, when I cut the door out, we're going to take all of our material off of this. Well, I'll have to make a cut right here along, a thin one right here along the bottom to square this edge up. And then the vast majority of this meat, to get rid of all the tension, is going to come off of this top side. And then we'll probably do our rip cut, because this edge we know is, well, both edges are square because they were jointed. This one, I'll rip this board to get my width, because part of me would say it'd be nice to run these through a plane and make them nice and flat, but the other part of me, the whole reason for me to do this was I wanted to make it look like it was made out of it, which it is, but wanted you to tell it was made out of individual planks. And if you plane it and make it flat, you lose that to a degree. So this way it looks like it's made like a door that would be on that shed it's made. So this one held together. I'll pop the clamps off that one. Hopefully it holds together, and if it is, we'll do some cutting. Sucker does got some tension in it. Okay, that gets me my height. Now I need my width. Get out of the way, you covered in sawdust. So, for this door, we'll make this one, the 28 and a half. Where I wish I had a table saw. I take it over to Granddad's and run on his table saw, but he's already getting ready to call it a night because he goes to bed at 6, so I don't want to bug him with it. But for what it is, I think we're going to be all right. Wish me. Hopefully it doesn't fold in half. Flip this around so that I can run it the other direction. Me on the right side of the saw. Still not on the right side of the saw. That's not what I wanted to do. Closing up on me. Wiggle back. We think. All right, they're all cut. Took an orbital sander, cleaned the edges up, rounded the corners off from sawing, buffed my joints, got some of the glue residue off, so we are ready to put our outer frame, whatever you want to call it, on. It's kind of a frame, it's kind of decorative, it's going to kind of serve both purposes. So, get the chop saw set up and my air compressor set up because we need that to run the brad nailer, and we're good to go. Okay, so the first pieces I'm going to do are my top and bottom rails that are going to tie all 3 boards together on both doors. So I need 2 pieces 28 and a half and 2 pieces 28, which I got this 10-footer for. Okay, now we can put these guys on. I'm going to take some wood glue. And brush that out some. And clamp that down. Actually, I'll put that one in the middle. I'll put two big ones on the outside. I think that clamp's about ready to give up the ghost. Even enough. And just for good measure. Okay, 3 more times. Okay, next I got these pieces that are gonna run the length. They're not really tying anything together, but they're there for, you know, you laminate that, you got some strength from bending. So that's next. I think on these I can probably get away without clamps. And last but not least, to give it that barn door look, we got this cross butt, whatever you want to call it, and I do have them situated so like that's the top of the door. This door, when it goes in, is going to swing, so this side's going to be the hinge, so this side's going to swing in, so I have it when it's hanging from the hinge. This in theory is going to kind of help hold this corner up. So same thing with that door. So put these guys on and we will be done for the night. Glad I got the big bottle of glue. I don't think the small one would have done it. Alrighty, there we go. There is the hard part done. Hopefully they fit in the hole. I think I made them enough undersized they should, but if not, have to make a lap around them on the joiner, and which I still might do anyway, just to true them up depending on how they fit in the door. But I think tomorrow I have an idea of what I want to do for a latch. It's not going to be that hard to do. I think I can do it with the scrap pieces actually that I cut off. I think I can just use the stuff here and do what I want to do. So I think tomorrow we can pop the clamps off, flip them over, and I can do my latches real quick. So for that I should just need the brad nailer, the air compressor. I'll have to saw a couple pieces, but I can do those outside. And that should finish it, and then we can start putting... I'd go ahead and linseed oil them without doing latches, except for there's a piece that I want to glue and wood glue and brad nail in. And I don't know if wood glue would do... I probably wouldn't work good with linseed oil and wood glue, so I want that probably needs to be done first. And I want them linseed oiled before they go on the shed, so because I want to leave them, like I said, I want to leave them natural. So we will, I'm going to get my mess cleaned up and we'll leave them clamped up tonight, and we will finish these up real quick tomorrow evening. Okay, let's finish these doors up today. Get these clamps popped off. I can start returning tools to their appropriate places after today. Also, some news. Today I took my exam, and I am now officially, at least As far as the state of Indiana is concerned, a certified pesticide applicator. So that's neat. Well, not officially. I haven't gotten the actual permit yet, but or license yet, but you know, whatever the card you got to carry. But I have the part or the piece of paper from the test that says I passed. Everybody's making a big deal out of that. And I studied for like a day and went in and whipped it in about 24 minutes. I kind of looked at it like a race. Okay, so latches. What I want to do to make these vintage and kind of match the date of the building is I'm going to make I don't know what you'd want to call them, falling bar latches, whatever. Basically, I'm going to cut a couple pieces of that, hinge it here in the middle with a rope through to the front of the door, and I'll bend up a piece of tubing and make something fancy for the rope to go through so it's not just running on the wood and make it look nice. But basically on the back side of the door, just have a block that falls, and there'll be a hook on the jamb, so you just pull the door shut and then pull the rope and it'll pick the thing up. And so that's what I want to do. So for this door, we are going to be hinged on this side. So to make sure, we're going to write hinge, and then that's going to be top. T. So when we want the bolt on this side, and this one, we are going to be hinged. That's the top. So we're going to be hinged on this side, and that's going to be the top. And the top's going to make a difference because of the way I'm going to make the back side of it. So bolt over here, LT, and we'll just do that. Top that way. Okay, so now I can flip them over. Actually, no, first thing I want to do from this side. So I want to put my bolt right through the center of this and through there, so that we got enough or plenty of material for strength. So we're going to find the center of this, basically right dead nut center of the door. So 28.5 is going to be 14.25 on center. So then we're going to take this and transfer that line down into here. And then we're at 67 and it looks like after everything is said and done, I ended up at 67 and an 8. That's a nice round number. Okay, so right dead center, and I did go out and make sure I was going to end up above the knee wall out there, in which I got plenty of room. So right here, we're going to drill this for a 3/8 bolt. That's going to end up with a carriage bolt in it. So okay, and for my actual bolts themselves, I'm going to use this as one of the pieces I ripped off of the door. Got it, might as well use it. Dimension, whatever dimension it is, I'm just going to leave it that. Leave it plenty stout. I already got it marked out. I'm cutting them 2 foot long. They're going to end up very incredibly overly long. But I'm going to leave them long, and then I'll trim them to fit. once we actually get the doors mounted. I'd like to have an actual saw bench one of these days. It would be nice. Now we are going to cut a 40 to 45 degree miter on the corners just to make it look a little nicer. So, and basically just have to figure out okay, so these are just had some bolts laying around, so I stuck in there, so I got a hinge point. I got it marked where they're gonna lay flat, and they have to go towards the top of the door. So I'm gonna put the stop block here so that when they come down, they're resting on something. And then I need to put another block. They need to come up at least the thickness of the board, or the height of the board, because that's how deep I'm gonna make the saddle that they're gonna hook in. So let's just, because that's the top, so let's just say I want it to go, if we went a 1/2 inch past that, so that's gonna go there. So then we're gonna need another board right there on that one. So we'll have a stop block here, a stop block here, and then a board over top of it. Because the way it is now, when if you were to push in on the door, you'd have all of this backing this board up. But if you were to, not that you could pull out on the door because it'd be up against the jamb, but just for strength, in case for some reason something pulled against the door, or the door was open and you ran into this or something, so you didn't snap it off, you'll have a block here, so that you got solid stops up and down, and then a block over top of it to saddle it, so that you don't have a lever this long. You'll have something here to keep it from doing this. And then I'll probably have to take these over to Granddad's and run them through the planer once or twice to make them a little thinner, so that they'll have a smooth action. So mark that one up, figure out how long I need my blocks. This one will have to have a couple miter cuts put on it so it looks nice, and we'll be good to go. Okay, we're ready to put my blocks on, and then I just got to cut this piece and nail it on, and we're good. So put a little bit of glue on here. And a little bit more glue than that. And then make sure the grain is running this way for strength. And I'm going to hold this assembly a 1/2 inch off the edge of the door so that it's not right there. Do I put 4 in it? Yeah, we'll put 4 in it. And then the top piece, this is cut in a trapezoid so that it looks nice. And that lets the latch come up a 1/2 inch past where the top of it would be at rest. Working as intended. And the very last piece of the puzzle is this guy. Tapered on top to match this angle. Okay, latches are done. This one, it doesn't quite fit, so I'll have to hit that one with a planer to make it do what it's supposed to do. But this one fits basically perfect, so that's how it'll work. You'll just have a saddle here on the door jamb so that when you drop the latch it comes down and hooks and the door's shut. So, and then like I say, this is here for if some reason to pull on the door or bump the latch or whatever. It's got something here to back it up so you're not relying solely on the bolt to take all the leverage. So pretty much complete. We'll cut this off to length and everything once the doors are mounted and we know where everything's gonna land, so that's why I just cut them long. As for the handle, I don't know. I got the 2 options. I got the rope where you drill a hole up here and put an eyelet here and tie the rope off, because obviously when you're on the inside you just grab this, lift it up and you're out, but when you're on the outside you can't get to it because it's inside. So you either run the rope up, drill a hole up here, and I'd probably bend like a piece of tubing or something to stick out through so that you get a nice smooth transition so it's not just running on the wood. Or I want to get a little fancier, punch a hole through here, and I'd have to get a router so that I could route a slot in the door that follows the arc. And I could get a piece of probably 1/2 inch, 3/4 dowel rod, whatever works best, and drive a dowel rod all the way through so that you got a handle inside and a handle outside. It's just sticking through the door. I'm considering both options. We'll see how I feel when the door is all together. The dowel pin option would be a little bit harder, because right now the way to assemble this is you can pull the bolt and slide this in, which this will be a carriage bolt, and the hole in the bolt itself will end up a little bigger, and I'll cut a steel sleeve so that I have something hard to butt up against, so I can draw the bolt up tight, and it'll be a flat washer both sides, sleeve in here, you draw the bolt up tight, that way you're not twisting the bolt, and you're not binding the board, because it's gravity, you need a nice free drop so that it drops on its own. But if you do the dowel rod, you basically have to assemble this and then drive the rod in and glue it. Or the other option, you can still do that. Don't drive the dowel rod all the way through. Just make it just long enough to get a handle on the outside, bore a hole all the way through it so that you can get a bolt or a whatever you call them, the little nuts that got the tangs in them for going into wood, so that you draw it up into the wood and it stays. Whatever they call those, or wood glue a nut into it or whatever, and run a bolt through it so that you can assemble the handle, stick the dowel rod through, and then run a bolt through. That's another option. We got options. We'll see how things go. So anyhow, this video has already gotten super long, and I'm sure since woodworking projects aren't the main focus of this channel, there's probably not going to be too many people interested, but this was the project I had going on in lieu of waiting for room for the 270 to open up, because I didn't want to just be completely unproductive this week. So all in all, I've had a little bit of fun doing this anyhow. I enjoy this stuff. I just wish I had better tools, because I feel like if I had better tools, things would turn out not so crude. But for not knowing what I'm doing, I don't think I did too bad. We can stand this guy up so you can at least see the finished product, I guess. Oops. I mean, I had a vision of what I wanted it to look like, and it turned out what I wanted it to look like, so I guess you can't beat that. So anyhow, I'm gonna get things wrapped up here. I guess these things can stay down here, and between me and Shelly, probably put at least 3-4 coats of linseed oil on there to protect them. And then the next project, at least for this overall project, is going to be to get windows, or make windows, which that I'm going to have to buy or borrow a router to make them look the way I want them to look. So I don't think Grandpa's got a handheld router. I think he's just got a router table. Maybe he's got a handheld router. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So anyhow, that's it for this one. We'll catch you guys on the next one.